Okay, I think it is working. Let me hop over to Facebook and check because I'm on vacation and I do not know if the internet is going to hold while I do this. Okay, so I'm just sharing from the page into the group. Good morning, good morning. Just give me 1 second. Group and create post. And we are live. And then I forgot to text Chris. I told her I wasn't sure if I was going to be popping in. It depended, like, if everybody was awake or asleep or whatnot. But so far, just me and the littles are awake. Look how pretty. Hold on. Let me just, there you go. Isn't that so pretty? So cute. Okay, so I'm just going to prop you up here. I am so sunburnt. So sunburnt. So that's why there's no makeup on, because my face hurts so badly. This is going to be probably short and sweet, and I don't know if Chris is even going to have time to join us. I cannot get over how sunburned I am because she is in meetings. I might just be backlit but there's nowhere to prop you guys up. I'm sorry. You're going to have to just look at my sunburnt face. Actually, let me go over to the table. Hold on. Come with me on a trip. And let me get my drink because I feel like I'm losing my voice. Oh. And then you guys can look how cutie. Okay. If I go off to the side, then you guys can see how pretty it is. All right. So basically, I'm wanting you guys to be able to see all of the prettiness of the mountains and the snow. And this will be short and sweet. But let me see if I back you up. I think it's better. I wanted to chat about rewiring your thoughts really quick. And I know this is Mama CEO. Usually Chris is with me, but she's in meetings today. And so I wasn't going to pop on. I'm obviously out of town. We're on a little family getaway, but I figured, the olders aren't awake yet. I'm awake, and there's been something I've really been thinking about. So I just figured I'd hop on and share it with you. And basically what that is the power of rewiring your thoughts and the ability to completely change, good morning, Chelsea, completely change the whole pattern or thought or day or assumption of something that you've had. And I think it is so fascinating. So my real life example is, the Wi-Fi just did it went down. Hopefully you guys can still, I'm hot. Okay, it's gone. I'm hot streaming to my phone. I'll just make sure my phone's right in front. So my real life example is we have gotten packed up. We've gotten out of the house. We are at the gas station, getting gas before we leave, and getting ices because, duh, Ethan has to take his Dramamine. There's a lot going on, okay? So put the gas in. I start walking across the street with Evie, Kevin, and the rest of the kids are behind me. And, this is going to be so good for you, Chelsea. Oh, it's going to be so good. And that's not normally my parenting style. Normally my parenting style is definitely like making sure Ethan and Evie are with me because they're smaller. And Logan and Dylan, it's more like fend for yourself. Like, you're tall enough for a car to see you and you're old, I mean, Ethan's old, but so I'm walking across, and Ethan is old, by the way. So Ethan definitely knows to look both ways. And I think it was just the trip and excitement and whatever. And he ran across the parking lot without looking. And there was a car that was, I would say, probably 3 car lengths from him. So definitely not close. Even if Ethan had walked across the parking lot instead of ran, there's no like physical way that the car would have hit him. Okay. So just imagine that, like, the car's over here, Ethan's over here. This is not accurate to scale. And immediately I, turned around and I said, I am so sorry to the car. Like, I was like, I am so sorry. And I turned to Ethan and I was like, you could tell that I was talking to him. You could tell that I was like reprimanding him, and he was like, oh my gosh, I forgot. And I was like, you like have to be careful. And I reprimand my kids in that sort of situation from a stance of, you have stressed the car driver out. I did not actually think that there was any chance Ethan was going to be hit by said car. But like, you're good. Like, you just probably scared that car driver, made him poop his pants, right? That's where I was coming from with Ethan. Like, bro, you can't do that because you are going to give people a heart attack. The same way I've taught my kids, when they get to the end of a street, they turn their back to the street. Like, if we're on a walk and they like to go way ahead of me, right? And they get to a crosswalk, they are taught to turn their back to the crosswalk. So that way cars who are trying to turn are not all freaked out. Like, oh my gosh, is this kid going to dart? Is this kid going to dart? Like, it's very clear. Like, I am not crossing right now. My back is to the crosswalk. So I'm a very anxious person, and I definitely think about other people's anxiety. So all being said, there was no actual chance that he was going to be hit. I said, I'm so sorry to the driver. You could clearly see that I was talking to him and I was like, reprimanding him or whatever. And this man proceeds to, which, by the way, I saw this man earlier as we were driving into the gas station, walking across the parking lot. And I can really, for the most part, tell people's moods by, I don't even really know how. I just can. Okay. I literally can. I call it seeing energy, but I can just tell. So I already knew, like, I could tell that he was grumpy, really grumpy. And I even had like said something to Kevin and he proceeds to roll down his window and he's like, that is so not safe. Like, as he drives past, like yelling stuff out the window to us. And anyway, I was like, told Kevin, I'm like, clearly I'm already reprimanding Ethan. Like, I already said, I'm sorry. Like, what is the point of that? And so we get ices. Ethan takes Dramamine. We get on the road and we're probably 25 minutes from the gas station, maybe 35 minutes from the gas station. And I am like, it's still bothering me. And I'm like, I can't believe that. Like, what was the point of that? Like, what? Clearly, I already had said, I'm sorry. I'm clearly talking to my child. Like, I'm not just laughing and letting it go. Like, what, And Kevin made the comment like, well, he already was in a bad mood. Like, you saw him walking across the gas station. And I'm like, yeah, but, and then here's where we get into the mindset part of things. And here we get into rewiring. I have been working so hard at, and I'm not perfect at it by any means, but I think this is like the first time that it naturally happened. And it was a really like, what the freak kind of moment for me. Like, I was like, what is happening? Because it just kind of naturally happened. And so what happened was, as I'm literally sitting there talking to Kevin of like, Ethan's asleep. The Dramamine has kicked in. Ethan's asleep. Kids are just looking around and anyway, listening to music. And I literally, while I'm speaking, basically speaking ill of this man, of being like, what is the point? I can't believe he did that. I find myself saying, I wonder if he was thinking that he was doing us a favor. Like, I wonder if he was like, oh, you know what? Like, he saw me talking to Ethan and he was like, maybe that kid's not going to listen from his parents, but maybe that kid will listen from a stranger. I'm like, what if he thought to himself, oh, maybe that's like a total problem for that kid. And he just does it all the time. And I saved his life because by me rolling down my window and yelling something at him, maybe he'll really listen because it was like from a stranger and it was from like an older man who was like being gruff. Like, maybe he thinks that he has saved Ethan's life in the future. Or maybe he thinks he was really helping us out with parenting by letting him be the bad guy instead of us being the bad guy. Like, maybe he could see that we were on our way to our trip, the way our car was packed and the way we have stuff on the top. And he was like trying to help us out. And even saying that out loud now, I can hear, like, to some people, they might just laugh and they might be like, oh my gosh, like, that's so ridiculous. Chelsea, I would love to hear like what you think, but maybe they're just like, maybe people would just think that's so stupid. But I cannot express to you how in the moment, even now, that completely changed my whole mood. That completely changed. I mean, I could say the rest of the day. Do I think that I would be still focused on it for the rest of the day? No. But old Marissa absolutely would have been focused on it the rest of the day. Old Marissa would have gotten into bed last night and said something again about it to Kevin. Because old Marissa, that type of thing would have just driven her crazy. But literally in that moment, I just rewired, I call it like rewriting or rewiring, whatever, the thought process of, this is like, what if, right? You guys know I love to talk about out of both sides of my mouth. I love to see all sides and all scenarios to every situation. And this is just another example of that. Another example of the one situation is he's in a bad mood. He's being an ass. The other situation is the other end of the spectrum is he could literally think that he is saving a child's life. And he's like, doing the Lord's work or something. There's just this huge spectrum. So why do we have to sit over here? I probably would have started yelling at the guy. But like, why do we have to sit in the side of, well, he just wanted to yell at us. He just wanted to belittle us. He just wanted us to put us in this place. He just thought, oh, these stupid young parents, these stupid young, millennial parents, they don't even care about parking lots and they just will let their kids do whatever they want. Those kids have no rules or whatever. Like, why do we have to stay here when we just as easily, with just the power of rewriting our thoughts, move and switch over to, he thought he saved a child's life. He thought he was making, he was making such a huge impact that, he was making such a difference in the world. Like, why? Why do we have to stay here when we could stay over here? The difference in our body, the difference in feeling like the shame of, he thought I was such a bad parent or whatever that's over here, when I could live in like that was so kind of him. Like him trying to take the stress of parenting off of me, sacrificing himself to be the bad guy instead of me being the bad guy. Like, that feels way better in my body than this one. And I get to choose. Right? It's not like he yelled out the window and was like, you're a piece of shit mom and you shouldn't have kids, or like whatever, right? He literally said, that's so unsafe, or like, that's super unsafe, or something, right? Like, I can choose where I want to live. I wouldn't have thought that second thought, but after you say it, right. And so that's what I just think is so freaking cool that we have the power to do. And I feel like hardly anyone does it. I feel like hardly anyone taps into that other side, the what if game, but in a positive way. We are professionals at the what if game negatively. I'm pretty positive. I'm pretty sure, right? I think most humans, especially anybody with anxiety, can play the what if game negatively for hours and hours and hours a day, right? Chelsea's with me. We got it. We're same. This is Evie. I don't know if this is a trending thing, but Evie does this for in between the two objects. Same. So what if we played the what if game, but for positivity? What would that look like, right? So for example, I need good vibes for sales. So tell me all the things that open up my mind and open the floodgates. What are what is the opposite of the what if game you're currently playing? And if you want to share, go ahead and share, and you can share some of the what if statements or the thoughts that you're thinking, and we can break them down. And here's the difference, you guys. I know that people teach affirmations and people say, like, whatever you currently are doing, you just think the opposite, and you just say that to yourself over and over and over again, and it will come true. And I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm just saying, for my personality type, I need more actionable steps than that, one. And two, there has to be action behind it. It's not just a prayer, wish, and a dream. For example, I can say every single day to myself 100 times a day, I could write 100 times a day, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. But there's no other action behind it. So therefore, it's not actually going to make a huge impact. It's going to take so much longer. Oh my gosh, there must be an airport or something. I have never, well, I mean, we've been here less than 12 hours, but I've never heard that noise yet. And for some people, they will automatically put an action to a new affirmation they're doing. But I think for most people, they think like, oh, all I have to do is say it. And that's not actually true. So the what if game I'm currently thinking is, what if I don't get enough sales again today? It was super loud. I'm not going to be able to pay something else again. That is the main what if at the moment. Okay, so you're playing the what if game of, if I don't get enough sales again, I'm not going to be able to pay the thing. So and you guys know me, I'm not just like, well, what if you made $100,000 today? Like, to me, it just really, here's the thing. There are some people who can literally just go to level 100 Delulu and live in level 100 Delulu and actually believe and feel it. That is what manifestation is. That is what vision casting is, goal setting is. It's you feeling what you actually want, okay? So just saying it doesn't do anything, because you have to actually feel and believe it. So if you were to just say, I make $100 in sales every day, I make $100 in sales every day, if you don't believe it, it's not actually going to happen. And so if you don't believe it, and if you're currently not in a place to believe those statements, then you have to figure out the next step in front of that. Does that make sense? So like, not even a baby step, but like a half of a baby step. Your brain's only job is to keep you safe. Your brain's only job is to keep you protected. And anything outside of what is normal for you is unsafe, and your brain will try to stop from happening. So if you all of a sudden start telling yourself, I make $1,000 every day, right? But your body doesn't encompass that and feel that, and your brain does not encompass that and feel that, then your RAS, your reticular activated system, your RAS, I don't remember exactly what it stands for, I think that's correct, is literally going to block it. And your RAS system is how you actually change your beliefs about yourself. So in this example, we have to figure out what does not feel unsafe to you. If it feels safe and it feels accurate to say, I make $100 a day, then that is what we're going to start with. But if that feels too hard, then we just pivot and we rewrite what we're saying. And that could look like saying, and I'm not saying, oh, I make $50 a day. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, how can we rewrite this statement in our head of, if thinking, I'm not going to make enough sales again today to be able to pay something, how can we take maybe the sales out of it and just focus on what you actually can focus on? So that might look something like, I focus every day on activities that increase my income, or I only focus on tasks that make me more money. Those are statements that you can say. Those are statements that you can actually follow through and do. And those are statements that you have control over. You don't have control over this second when people are going to buy or how they're going to buy, but you do have control over your actions. And are your actions completely aligned with things that are going to encourage people to buy, right? So change the statements and change the focus of, instead of focusing on the sales, focus on you doing the things that are going to lead to more sales. And I know it's so much easier said than done, but what do those look like? Do those look like adding new items? Do those look like sending messages to past customers asking if they like their item and if they want to leave a review, or if they have anything else in the future that they need something on? Hey, you're messaging all of your past customers of, hey, you are actually taking custom orders right now, and you're reaching out to all of your VIP customers to see if there is anything that they need purchased before spring or summer. You've opened up a select amount of custom orders and, things like that. So that might be, good morning, Candace. I have been listing items, reaching out to people. I could still send emails. All right. So you have been reaching out to people like on Etsy, for example, like sending an email, sending like I call them partially customized email. I mean, I guess it is a fully customized email, but basically copy and paste an email, but change out like what the item was or like the topic. And have you been reaching out people to directly like that? And I know it's so much time and energy, but basically something that Gary Vee said years ago that has just stuck with me so hard is, if you're not making the amount of money that you want to, then you have the time. And I was like, what? But it's because you do, right? Like if you're not making the amount of money that you want to, then you have the time, because that's what you should be focusing on. Okay. I've been reaching out to planners on Instagram, trying to grow the wedding business, and second guessing myself on this if this is the right move. Oh, I have time right now. So you can keep reaching out to people on Instagram. That's absolutely fine. I would also reach out. The easiest way to increase your income, I would teach this lesson all the time in direct sales. The easiest way to increase your income is to get money from people who have already given you money, period, end of discussion, right? Like if this person already has given you $30, can you get them to give you another $10? Can you get them to give you another 20, another 30? Do they have any referrals? That's another thing that you can do. Do you have a referral program? And I'm not saying take a week and make your referral program so fancy, so whatever. You can literally just do it on a piece of paper right now, Chelsea. But, reaching out to all of your existing customers on Etsy who have bought from you on Etsy and saying, hey, you're one of my, VIP customers because you've purchased from my shop before. I've opened up a select, yeah. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure you can. Before I tell you that. But I'm pretty sure you can literally just go to the order. I mean, obviously you know that you can on Fair, because you literally go to their order and it literally says message buyer. Oh, why would it be against their rules? You're not asking them to leave the platform. You're just following up with their order. It's like when I get an email, you want to say hello? I get an automatic message from people, or sometimes it's not automatic. Sometimes it might be 3 or 4 days later and I can tell it's not an automated message. And it literally says, oh, yes, grabbing their emails and emailing them is against the rules. Yeah, I'm talking about messaging them. Chelsea said hi. I'm talking about messaging them in Etsy. That's what I'm talking about. Because they're Etsy buyers. The chance of them leaving Etsy to go make a purchase is so low. They're Etsy buyers. They want to stay on Etsy. They don't want to follow you to another platform. So messaging them on Etsy. And so literally just like going through your orders, and, you could start with the biggest orders. Just kidding. I was wondering if there was like any sort of income filter, but there's not. So you could start by your biggest orders, or you could just go through and start newest to oldest or whatever. Probably newest to oldest, because you're the newest in their brain, and say, hey, I'm doing custom orders, or I want to check in and see if there's anything you need for spring or summer, whatever, and just reach out. So I would totally do that. It's like the new age version of like cold calling, except they're not cold calling. And the easiest way to increase your income, I love the sourcing on Alibaba, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like what you could do today. You can't do Alibaba today. But the easiest way to increase your income would be to reach out to people who've already paid you and go from there. Hello, Rusty. Okay, so basically, kind of to bring things back and wrap things up, the power of your mind is so huge. And rewriting stories and rewriting what you tell yourself is so imperative. And it will be so powerful and change things so much. Even thinking about like what sort of limitations you have, thinking about it from like, what does this limitation allow me to do? Okay. And thinking about it from that perspective is such a game changer. And I'll give you guys an example of that. Maybe go back 6 months to some of the first birthday orders and ask any. Yes. Oh my gosh. So smart. So smart. And you could do that with every birthday, right? If I got an email that's like, hey, did you, I opened up custom orders, or you don't even have to say custom orders. I opened up new orders, whatever you want to say. And I was wondering if you have the kid's name, freaking put the kid's name in there, Chelsea. I was wondering if Jack needed a second birthday cake topper. I would be like, yes, please. Like, what? I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to whatever. You're going to send me over like an order and I'm going to give you my credit card information? Yes. Yes, please. No. So you cannot take people's emails from Etsy and email them. I'm saying you can message them directly on the Etsy app or Etsy website, Etsy platform. That's what I'm talking about. Then baby showers, and absolutely, Chelsea. Yes. Absolutely. Of, maybe like, 6 to 9 months after a baby shower once, being like, and just knowing that the person buying the baby shower stuff might not actually be the pregnant mom, because, like if somebody else is planning it, but just saying, and maybe making your email say to that, like being like, I realize that you may, I realize that you may not be the mother, you may be like a family or friend, but I have customers who actually like to gift, first birthday stuff, or gift a gift card for first birthday stuff, because maybe they are like, well, I don't know what they're going to do for their first birthday, but you could offer them a gift card or something, Yes, exactly. Message them through the order that they made. Yep. Start with the birthday. Yes, I would definitely start with the birthday first. Now, you can do the bridal simultaneously. Baby shower simultaneously. And you could say, hey, it's been 9 months since baby shower. We're approaching first birthday. And I just want to let you know that we offer, custom first birthday stuff. If whether or not you want to purchase or you want to refer us to whoever, and you could just basically say, hopefully it's been such a great first year, first memories, just kind of, that one would really be copy and paste, because you don't know if that's like the mom or if that's like, the sister-in-law or the cousin or something. But just that would be like where the referral part would come in, of if we would love to be able to handle any of the decorations for the first birthday. We do charcuterie. I would do more of like a, what do you offer? So like we would absolutely, like we were so honored to handle the baby shower. We would love to handle the first birthday. Like we do cake toppers, we do cake smash toppers, we do charcuterie board picks, we do muffin thing. Like I would basically give a lit, we do it, you know, if you're doing, we do invitations. I would basically kind of give a list of what you do. So that way, even if I'm not the mom, then I'm like, if I'm getting that from like, you know, my girlfriend, then I'm like, oh, I would literally just like copy and paste and I would like send it and be like, oh, this is where I got your baby shower stuff. And they do all first birthday stuff. And it's like so cute. Whatever. You can even put a sentence in there of like, so many mothers love having matching baby shower and matching first birthday. So then they can do side-by-side photos. So I always like to reach out to customers who have had baby showers within the last year and let them know that we do offer everything for first birthdays. So that way they can get those matching photos, right? Because if people are using acrylic for baby shower and then they're using like metal or wood because they didn't know they could do acrylic for first birthday because I did not do my own baby shower. Somebody else did. So that is like super cute. Yes, charcuterie. Like I would literally give a list of what you can do. Like, can you make birthday banners? Are you interested in making birthday banners? Like if you're not interested, you're not interested. But you know, signage, like so many first birthday parties are like, you know, themed and it's the food has like specific names. I remember one of our kids, we did Cars was one of them. And another one was King Julian. What is that movie? I like to move it. Madagascar. But like Cars was like, you know, the juice, orange juice, whatever was like motor oil. So, you know, that sort of thing. Okay, now I have things to do today, things that might move the needle, things that will move the needle. Okay, hold on. We have to take a second on this. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I meant to already be off by now, but we have to change. We have to change that the mental thoughts and the mental mindset. And this is not woo-woo. This is literally science. If you guys don't believe me, go Google RAS system, right? Go look at the RAS. It is the gatekeeper to your subconscious and your conscious. And it literally filters out. So you're taking in, I don't remember, it's like 2 million like tidbits of information every second. And you can actually only process, it's like 40 to 50 or maybe 50 to 60. Don't quote me on that. You can Google it for yourself. But you're getting millions of things, but you can only consciously filter, let's just say 40 to 60. And the RAS is what decides who's going to filter it. Okay. So imagine like there's like a person up there and they're deciding what to show you, and they only are showing you stuff based off what they think you want to see. Okay. Who here, I know this is like such an old example, but I think it's so good. Who here has never seen a car before? Then you see that car. And then maybe you buy that car or somebody you know has that car, and now you're seeing that car everywhere. Or you see a car that you haven't seen before and you're just like, then you maybe go look up the car, or you just ask like, what is that car? And then someone's like, oh, that's the whatever. And then you start seeing it everywhere. Okay. You don't even like the car. You don't even want the car, but you focused your energy on the car. And that person up there was like, oh, this car must be important. Let's start showing them more cars. Okay. It's like when you're on a long car ride with your kids and you're like, okay, let's see how many yellow cars we can find. And the kids are like, there are no yellow cars. And you're like, yeah, they're just hard to find. And then all of a sudden you're at 12. And you are, as the adult, are like, I don't feel like I've ever seen 12 yellow cars in my life. But you're only 4.5 hours into your car drive and you've seen 12 yellow cars. So give her a name, right? Give her a name. And you're in charge. Like you have to tell her what you want to focus on. So if you want to focus on yellow cars or more sales or whatever, like you have to make the effort to focus on that. Because when we say things like things that might move the needle, what we're actually telling her is these probably won't move the needle, or these probably this probably won't work, but we're going to try it. So I want you to show me proof that this is not going to move the needle. And this is all backed by science. This is not woo-woo. This is not witchy craft stuff. This is literally science. This is how your brains work. If you go into like the quantum physics realm with oh my gosh, they're not photoneurons, but I'm literally blanking on what they're called. It'll come back to me. It is scientifically proven that they move differently when they are watched or when they're not watched. This is one of the craziest science experiments I've ever learned about. And it's so crazy. But when the neurons are not being watched, they react differently than when you're watching them. And so we don't have time to get into all that. We can get into that another day. But basically, my whole point is you are in control, and it might not feel like that. But if you break it down a step and think, okay, what do I want Susie or Amy or whoever to focus on and show me more proof of? You want her to show you more proof that you taking the time to reach out and gives you more sales. You want her to show you proof that you editing your photo listings gives you more sales. You editing your titles gives you more sales. What? Come show them. Hold on, let me take a picture of this. This is so funny. I've never gone live on YouTube before. Okay, say cheese. I've never hooked the two up. That is so funny. She came down just glowing and laughing, and I was like, what is happening? Is that weird? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I'm interested in a lot of things right now. Just need to get the sales back up. I'm even considering doing acrylic, and I hate to say painting. So yeah, and that might be something that you temporarily do. That's another thing, is just tell yourself, I'm doing this temporarily. I'm doing this temporarily. But we really need to work. I know, she's so cute. Really need to work on our language that we think, our language that we speak, our language that we write. Because all we're doing is telling Amy, Sue, Madeline, whatever you want to name her, or make it a dude, the gatekeeper, what we want to focus on. And if we are constantly, unconsciously basically looking for ways that we have failed, then that person is going to show us that. If we're consciously thinking about ways that we can change our business to improve it, right? Then all of a sudden we're going to feel like we see all these opportunities, which have been there. We just haven't noticed them. Remember the 1 to 2 million, tidbits of information a second. We only can do 40 to 60. So here's a good example. The option to message someone on Etsy has always been there, but now you feel like that's a new opportunity because you've never seen that before. Even though I can almost guarantee you that you have seen it literally with your eyes, but it was not relevant. Your gatekeeper did not show you that information because that's not the information you were looking for. Does that make sense? So another example, we'll just do one more thing. Another kind of way to think about it is you are choosing, you're watching me? Okay. You are choosing what you're focusing on. And it's not as easy. I typed it. I see it. So cute. My first YouTube comment on here. What? I can see your comment on my video. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Let me show her and then I'll wrap up. I promise. Thank you for being so patient. See?
And you see my nose.
Right here.
No, like in here. Oh, now
You're a little delayed. Okay, let me wrap this up. Okay, I'll be off in like 5 minutes. You can watch. I'm just saying you can't be that close because I can hear it, and they might be able to hear it, like the double echo. Okay, sorry guys. So, I mean, I'm not sorry because that's adorable, and I feel like that is a core memory burned into her mind that she saw her sunburnt, haggard-looking mother on YouTube while she was on YouTube. But anyway, so thank you for being part of that core memory. At least it was a core memory for me. And I literally never go live on YouTube at all. And I was like, I might as well. Boop, and I added it. Okay, so sorry, let's wrap this up into what are some things that we can actually do? Something that I think is helpful is to kind of, actually, I think I have notes on this. Like questions that are so good to ask to help. Okay. This is something that I learned from Mami Onami, who actually learned it from Tony Robbins. Thank you. You're so sweet. I can't see the hearts on there, but thank you. Okay. And I think this is so helpful. So let me do this. So you figure out what your problem is. So let's just do problem is don't have enough sales. Okay. Actually, that's not the problem. Problem is you want to be able to pay a bill. So that's the problem. You want to be able to pay a bill. So first is you identify what your problem is. Then the first question is, how is this great? So basically you're turning it around, which we talked about earlier. And I'm just going to give you her examples because I feel like it's so easy when you have a clear-cut example, and I don't want to waste your guys' time trying to think of an example on the fly. So her problem is that she would rather be up, but her newborn daughter, if she's up, her newborn daughter will not sleep. So she's like involuntary bed rest. She has to be on for her newborn daughter to sleep. So the question is, how is this great? So it's great because she's forced to delegate all of the house stuff that she used to insist that she could not. She knows that her husband can handle it because she has handled it. She has figured out how to run a home and a business with two kids, and that it's actually super pleasant. So she knows that her husband can figure it out. So that's like, how is this great? This is giving her this type of opportunity. Okay. And we can use an example if you want, Chelsea, after this. Question number 2, what's not perfect yet? So this is saying it's okay to acknowledge things that need to improve. So her example is what's not perfect yet is it seems like if she doesn't deep clean, brush her kids' hair, bring them to reading lessons, then it won't get done. Also, she wants her husband to be able to enjoy his life and be able to like go in the sauna and do workouts, but those things are not happening for her, and they have not been happening for her. Okay, so basically she's saying here, like, she thinks if she doesn't do it, it's not going to get done. And she also wants her husband to be able to do all these magical things, but the reality is those magical things weren't happening for her. So question 3 is now you take responsibility. What do I have to do to make things how I want it? So she has to face the facts that she has plenty of deadlines and computer work that she could do from in bed. And she'll be able to, focus on it even better from being on involuntary bed rest. And remember that her husband only got great at business when he was laid up, when he had like broken his leg or something. And now she's laid up in bed. So now her husband gets to get great at the house, and she gets to get great at the computer and the other business stuff. Also, she's going to accept that this is her choice. She could choose chaos all day long. She could choose to be up and do stuff with the baby, and then the baby would be unhappy and miserable. And then I think this is the last one, maybe not, but what do I have to stop doing right now to make things how I want it? So her worrying about how my husband feels about everything. He's never worried about me and was like, hey, I want you to take a break. I want you to take a break when she was doing all of the mom stuff. So she needs to stop worrying about her husband. And then 2, micromanaging. So his dinner, his cleaning, his kids, his way, whatever, the end is what she put. Like, she needs to stop micromanaging in order to make the involuntary bed rest happen, because he's doing it, so she can't micromanage it. And then the last one is, how can I enjoy it? So she put, I cannot just work all the time, and I can make time for my Kaka TV, because she like never watches bad TV. I can also enjoy my uptime when I get it and see my big kids a lot. So that's the structure, and that's from Tony Robbins. Okay. So really quick again, identify your problem. Question number 1, how is this great? Question number 2, what's not perfect yet? Question number 3, what do I have to do to make things how I want it? Question number 4, what do I have to stop doing to make things how I want it? And then question number 5, last one, is how can I enjoy it? So if we're using this framework and we're going through using Chelsea as an example, okay, how is this great? She gets to create a deeper relationship with her customers. She gets to reach out and see if they need anything else. She gets to expand her word of mouth referrals by doing this. She gets to consider other avenues of income. She mentioned acrylic. She mentioned painting. She gets to expand her other avenues. What's not perfect yet? So what's not perfect might be, she doesn't have the emails ready or the things in place. She doesn't have the recurring orders that she wants. So that's like what she wants to focus on doing. Question 3, how can she take responsibility? What do I have to do to make things how I want it? So what does she have to do? She has to spend time emailing customers. She has to spend time, figuring out what she's going to say to them, how she's going to reach out. She has to spend the time actually reaching out. She has to spend time researching, do her customers want the acrylic and painting, or are they okay with it not? Question number 4, what do I have to stop doing to make things how I want it? So why don't you answer that one, Chelsea? Some things that I think that would help, kind of how hers, worrying about how my husband feels about everything. So kind of the same thing of like worrying about how the money's going to come. And I know that's so much easier said than done, you guys. Like, I understand. And I have been, and I feel on a regular basis when I have my health problems pick up and I have to shell out all this money, like, I'm with you on this, of feeling like, well, I don't have enough. Like, I don't have enough right now. But when we focus on that, that's all we're telling Amy or whatever that we want to see more, not enough, more, not enough, more, not enough, instead of showing us the opportunities to make more. Does that make sense? We want to train our RAS system to show us the opportunities that we could make more, instead of taking away those opportunities and only having it be the not enough, showing us the proof of not enough. Does that make sense? Stop overthinking, and yes, stop worrying. Yeah, so stop overthinking and stop worrying. That's what she needs to stop doing. And you could add in, like how she says micromanaging, like you could add in, like, what do you want to stop doing? You want to stop thinking over worrying, overthinking, but you want to focus on like the actions that actually are going to move the needle, the actions that are going to results. And yes, it's so much easier said than done. But here's another thing. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. This was not 5 minutes. Here's another thing that I think really helps is, so far until this day, you have made things work, right? It might not have been how you thought. It might have been a different way. It might have been a little bit different, but up until this point in day, February 19th at 8:52 a.m. Pacific time, you have always made it work. You're here, right? If you weren't here, then you wouldn't have made it work, but you've always made it work. So go back to that truth. Your body remembers and feels that truth. So if you're in a place where you're like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, like, and you can't regulate, you can't figure out how to ground yourself, focus on, okay, up until this day and point, it's always worked out. It's always worked out. It's going to be okay. Like, that will help regulate your body down way faster than trying to map out a plan of how it's going to work. Because mapping out a plan of how it's going to work, your body, some people can feel that. They can feel the plan working, right? Some people cannot. And if this is new work to you, if the mindset and your inner self is new work to you, then you're not going to be able to feel regulated from mapping out what you need to do. You're going to kind of need, yes, Chelsea, you're so sweet. You're going to need to pull on information that your body has already lived through. We'll go back and find examples of when things were hard and then how they got better. When this felt impossible and then it led to this. When you thought this was going to be the worst thing ever, but it ended up turning into this. And hold on to those feelings and those beliefs. That is going to regulate you so much quicker than making a to-do list or like all the things you have to do, because you're not feeling that, but you can fall back on what you have had experienced and you can pull from that. I was telling myself it wasn't working. I need to tell and believe it is working. Yes, it is. Here's another thing that is like it seems so elementary. And I just was thinking about this the other day. Like, you really have no idea what's going to even happen a year from now. Like, it's so crazy to think about. And I want you all, like, if you've been in business for 10 years, go back to 10 years ago and like visualize talking to yourself. Like, did your 10 years ago self like believe that she would be doing pop-ups or doing selling in other people's stores or have like your own workshop? And maybe the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, then yes. But if the answer was like no, myself 10 years ago would never even believe that I had my own designated workspace, because I was working at the kitchen table. I was working at the kitchen table in between, I almost said your kid's name, but I'm not going to say his name because that's like, anyway, I was working between his nap time, right? Like, if that was you 10 years ago, then just look at where you're at and be like, oh my gosh, yes, you have current day problems. I am not someone who's going to say, just forget about the problems. They'll work themselves out, because I believe you have to put in effort. Okay. I'm not that type of teacher. But what I do believe is you can look back and you can say, you know what, 10 years ago, I was doing XYZ with, and now I get to do XYZ with him, and look at the difference. Okay. So sorry, that was another whole side tangent, but apparently I just feel like this is all really important to say today, and hopefully it's been beneficial. But really focusing on rewiring your RAS system. And if you guys want to learn more about that, I can do another live later and go over like the scientific data of what that is and what that entails. And if you don't care and you don't want to learn, all you need to know is that you have basically a gatekeeper that's deciding between the million bits of information that you get every single second. It's only going to give you access to 40 to 60 of those. But you get to decide what those 40 and 60 are, right? Like, there are so many ducks out here, and I know Evie's going to be looking for ducks, and Evie wants to feed the ducks, and there's also geese, and there's also swans. And so I know that last week, whatever her name is, was not going to focus at all on ducks or hearing duck sounds or hearing a swan and being like, oh, the swans are there. But I know that this week while we're here, that my RAS is going to be showing me that, because I'm telling it that that's important. I'm telling it that she wants to feed the ducks and she wants to feed the baby ducks. So when I hear baby sounds, I need to like be aware of it. I can feel the shift. Oh, I'm so happy. Think you need to hear it. Hop on. This is something else, Chelsea, that we could also talk about inside of Dream. So if you had like specific questions that you wanted, like, we could totally do back and forth audio messages in there. So that way they would be like real short and condensed and concise. And so you could like listen to those on repeat. FYI. Hey, Sherry. So yeah, I want you guys to focus on anytime you think something, when you can, I want you to think, what am I actually telling Amy? I feel really bad for any Amy's out there. I don't know why that's the name that's in my head, but what am I actually telling Amy to look for? So for example, if we say, oh, okay, Marissa, I'm going to go start messaging clients. I'm not saying for you, Chelsea, I'm just saying in general. And I hope that they respond. What are we actually telling Amy to look for? We're actually telling Amy to look for people who ignore us because we don't believe that they're going to respond. And this is the thing I wanted to touch on earlier, and I got sidetracked by Evie and I forgot. When we say words like hope or I want, what we're actually telling our brain, what we are saying, hold on, my brain's moving too fast. We are making the statement from a place of we do not believe it because we hope that it happens. We want it to happen. It would be great if it happens. Now, we're not necessarily saying the negative thing and saying, I'm going to message people on Etsy and they're not going to respond. We're not saying that. So people think it's okay. People think, oh, I can say, oh, I can't wait to try that. We're speaking from a place that we are not going to do it. Does that make sense? Like English wise, from a vocabulary standpoint, we are speaking from a place, oh, I really want to try that recipe on Tuesday. We are speaking from a place that we are not going to try the recipe on Tuesday. Does that make sense? Because that is so important. And learning that little thing is going to completely change. And but before I get off, I'm going to tell you one more thing that is going to completely change everything also. But when you understand saying, oh, I want to try that new recipe on Tuesday, you are speaking from a place of that you are not going to try the recipe on Tuesday. You saying, I can't wait to try that recipe on Tuesday. That's even speaking from like a little bit of, it's definitely more positive, but saying like, oh, I'm going, this is what I'm doing on Tuesday. That recipe on Tuesday is going to be so good. That is speaking from a place of it's going to happen. Does that make sense? Yes. So saying I am going to email my Etsy customers and I can't wait to have conversations with them about what they're going to order. Or I'm going to email my Etsy customers and I can't wait for them to respond. Or even that one's a little like, I'm so excited to touch base with my Etsy customers. I'm so excited to see, I hope that they send me pictures of their kid. They already had their first birthday. Like, I hope that I get some pictures to see of what their first birthday party looks like. Like, you're already assuming that they're going to respond. So you're going to tell Amy, like, only show me proof, like only show me the data of people responding. And then when people don't respond, you're not even really going to notice because you're not looking for it. So you're not going to be all, oh, I emailed 20 people today and only 2 people responded. You're just going to be like, oh my gosh, someone responded. And you're going to respond to it and then keep doing your thing because you're looking for the proof that people are responding, not looking for the proof that they're not. Okay. And as we speak it, so it shall be. Amen. That sounds like me saying, I know there's no way I'm making it. Yes, so true. Okay. When they respond, yes, Sherry, I'm writing this live on my calendar so I can keep coming back and watching. So Chelsea, you're so sweet. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to say, this might be a little woo-woo. Everything else I've talked about today is science-backed, purely science. This might be a little woo-woo or a little spiritual or whatever. So take it if you want it. If you hate it, leave it. As always, anything I say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But something that I'm trying to implement, something that I'm implementing moving forward, something that I have implemented into my life recently, is the mindset of this or something better. Okay. You can use this if you're religious. You can use this if you're spiritual. You can use this, whatever, this or something better. And if you can repeat that to yourself, when you repeat that to yourself on a regular basis for anything, you will literally, it'll take time, but you'll literally watch in front of your eyes, your neural pathways start to change within your brain of when something does not work out how you thought or you expected it to, you will start to think on your own that something better is coming. And you will start to adopt the belief that I would like this to happen or something better or something greater or something, put in whatever word you want. I want this or something greater. Here's an example I'm going to use. You guys probably know, I like the straws that have like the little soft silicone thing on the top. Lost it yesterday. Not sure where. So I'm going to find my straw thing or something better. And what that means to me, here's the thing is I'm not in charge. I'm leaving it up to God, universe, source, whatever, quantum physics. But I'm either going to find my silicone straw piece, or when we're out doing something that we're doing, maybe it's a hike, maybe we're at a souvenir shop, whatever, I'm going to find something better. I'm going to find a better straw. Okay. I believe that with my whole body. Okay. I believe that with my whole body. This or something better. And so when you're in a place and you're trying to make something work, it will start to rewire your brain to think, instead of thinking this is not working, this is not working, this is not working, and it being this negative thing, it shifts your brain into going, oh, I don't think this is working because something better is coming. I don't think this is working because there is something greater that is going to happen. I don't think this is working because there is a better way. It's just so much more expanding. Don't you just want to like take a deep breath when you say that? Instead of like, oh, this is not working. It's like, well, this is not working because something better is going to happen. It's just so much better. It's just so much better. Yes, Chelsea, I love it too so much. You said this was on YouTube? Yes, I think you can. Yeah, I went live like I said, I don't even know why, but apparently because of the whole, what did Candace say, 30-day thing. Apparently that's why. Anyway, okay, this has been so long. Are we surprised? I'm so sorry. But also, thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them. I will answer them throughout the day. Yeah, it's just Marissa Baysayers. And I will talk to you later. I love talking about this stuff. I am stepping into giving myself permission to talk more about this stuff because I could talk about it all day long, every day. The ability that your mind has to change your life. So anyway, hi, Bobby. I miss you. I feel like it's been so long since I've seen you, Bobby. Hopefully everything is good and great and amazing. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.